again. Uh, we're on like episode 6 now, and what we've done is we've gone through episode 1, kind of what we're doing. Uh, we are restoring, rehabbing an airplane that you could take this any way you want. It could be grandpa's, dad's, mom's airplane that they had in the garage since you were a kid, and you're like, oh, I want to get that back out. I don't know what to do. Uh, I threw myself a softball. This was one of my airplanes that I bought for my son. Uh, that has been sitting in the attic for the top of the garage, so above the garage door, kind of exposed to the dust and debris, the heat, the humidity that a garage would give you. Uh, we've done our initial first episode of cleaning it up, kind of taking inventory of what we need to do. We noticed that there's some covering and stuff like that that's loose, so we need to fix that. The big problem on most of these old nitro motors is going to be the engine's locked up. What do? Well, I just got my butt kicked in episode like 4 or 5 of removing the engine, taking it apart, uh, doing a bunch of different tricks to get it apart. Feel free to contact me. Send me your old engine. If it's intact and I don't have to buy parts for it, I will cheaply rebuild your motor for you. And get it, I'll test run it, and I'll send you a video of it running. So we took this old Thunder Tiger 440, which is probably a 20-year-old, 25-year-old motor, cleaned it up to almost like new, other than the head's got some missing fins. I broke one of them in the disassembly process. Now it's time to put it back together, or put it back on the airplane. It's back together, and I am super impressed. A couple hours ago, this thing was locked up solid. We replaced the bearings, cleaned all the nooks and crannies, so that when I go to run this thing, maybe later today, it's 7:30. It's dark at 9. It's possible we can go out and fight today. If not, we can maybe go out tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening. And I'll do a live video on that too, so that you get to see this thing in its full start to finish, I think. So we're going to start by, I guess we don't really need to hook up the throttle mechanism first. What we need to do is get the motor in here, lined up to its mounting holes. I see light in all 4 holes. There's only 4 holes on here, so that's perfect. So then we'll take our screws, start putting those in. I have to preset my tools. Got it. So the story goes, if you're just kind of wanting to skip to the gratifying parts here, bought this airplane many, many years ago. I can put the picture back up of kids there on the right. Is my son, Danny, and he picked it out, sort of. I probably forced him to pick it out, maybe. I don't know. Emma really liked the purple one, so she got it. I've got it, and it needs to be gone through also. We could do that on an episode. I've got a really great project sitting behind the cameras here of an airplane that was given to me kind of as part of an estate clean out. He didn't want to do any RC stuff anymore, and he had some perfectly good stuff that he just gave to us in the club that I plan on doing another video the same way. I just got to order some parts for it and have them sitting here ready. Start to finish. All I've done is take that out of the truck and put it on the shelf, ready for one of these videos. What I'm doing, I don't know if we can see it that well. Matter of fact, sitting on the screen below my overhead view here, it's a prop chart. I was redoing some research in my break time there. And it looks like a 10.6 is okay for this. If I could find in my stash an 11.6, I might put that on it. Not going to give me much for ground clearance. I think we're at maximum. Nose wheel height. That's it. I got a quarter inch I can go up. But I got the grip today. My lock nuts are. I was able to finger tighten them on. So I just need to hold these lock nuts a little bit. A pair of pliers. I used the heavy pliers earlier. Probably a better idea. Things we need to do next on the next episode. Actually, on this episode, I'm going to finish with motor stuff. Motor stuff one was getting the motor to binge function, which we've done. Binge function means that it moves freely. Everything moves freely. This thing, carburetor, is smooth as butter. The new bearings from Amazon. I ordered those from Amazon. I got them a couple days later. I'm like, what did I order these for? Oh yeah, I think I got a Pro 46 on that trainer I need to fix. I'm so glad they came in an airtight seal bag, so they weren't going to go bad sitting around. They're smooth, man. They are smooth. So, thank you, Fast Eddie, for keeping this hobby alive with parts that are easily obtainable and easy to find. I've heard this statement a lot lately. Where do you get stuff for RC? What do you mean? You go to a hobby shop, you get on Horizon, Hobby King, Tower. There's a ton of mom and pop stores around still that are online. Graves RC. We were down in Orlando a couple weeks ago for a family vacation. I stopped in Graves RC. Down in Florida. You can get on Graves RC right now and be flying by the end of the week. I'm serious. They've got everything. I've never been in a hobby shop that I just wanted to go. I could move to Orlando and get a job there and be in hog heaven. Probably not going to happen. Wondering why these were so hard to get out of the case. There appears to be, hope you can see it, sleeve of plastic on there. I'm going to leave it on there just because they'll help as a kind of an kind of a locking thing. I thought it's because they were bent. Nope, they're just, I don't know if it's some kind of Loctite or what, but it's going to help me. All right, so 2.5 for the Thunder Tiger motors. Those almost all the bolts. 5.5. 5.5 box end wrench, socket wrench to do the carburetor. If I remember right, the low end mixture, a straight slot for the carburetor pin. It's quite annoying. Wear my wrist down. But it's going to keep those from backing out. This was supposed to have a gasket on it. A couple things you can do if you find that you're losing a lot of excess junk out of the staging surface. One, you can lightly file both surfaces flat. You can cut the gasket out, or you can take some red Loctite and make yourself a gasket. As long as you're not going to go out and immediately run it, let it dry for several hours. Or you can use some high heat silicone, smash that in there. I would file the surfaces, get them both shiny, clean them. You can clean these motors with a bunch of different stuff. You can clean them with carbon choke cleaner, brake cleaner. Non-chlorinated brake cleaner is probably better. Wow. I like to tilt that down a little bit. There's a Phillips there. There's a Phillips there, a straight slot there, straight slot there, probably 1.5 millimeter there. 2.0s, or 2.5s, 2.5s, 2.5s on the front and back. That, my friends, is a motor install. So, we need to move on. We need to do a tank inspection. Last thing we're going to do is cover it. So we need to look at the tank. We need to push the tank forward a little bit, apparently. Make sure that as long as the tank's far, it's all the way forward, as it should be. Fuel lines are in good shape. The tank, this is typically a point of disrepair. The lines will break or crack. They'll dry rot, things like that. Pressure test the tank. Pinch your exhaust line. Good pressure. I ran a fuel line. I only flew this plane a few times. I think I put this tank in. So we'll go ahead and put this hatch back. Hatch seems to fit okay. Going over tight, it's going into the firewall, which is plywood. Moving on. Tank inspection motor is 100% installed. That thing feels wonderful. I think it should really run well. This is my starting nub. Always make sure that you use a strong tool. So that's not even as tight as I like it to be. This is a Frio, I think. Something sacrificial. You really get some torque on that. Now you have double nut lock here, which is great for high RPM motors. I'm impressed. I think you can hear all that. Before, you would have felt these bearings all the way through the frame. So that's really cool. That's the end of this episode. The front half of this plane is done. Let's get into setting up, removing the old radio, the old receiver, and setting up the new radio, and some really cool tricks with doing the buddy box system. So we'll go through removal of this radio. I've got my charger sitting here. One of free chargers I use. Get yourself a good charger. I'm going to check this battery out, and it should still hold a charge. Only it's 4 or 5 years old. I'll take a look at it, touch it, feel it, see what it is, what it does. But that's where we'll go from the next video or the next episode. See you in a minute.